What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sutton, indie author of my young adult friends to lovers romance What Are Friends For, as well as my upcoming young adult fake relationship romance Out of My League that debuts June 16th. You can find both of those links in the description box below. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my Camp NaNoWriMo project. I know this is coming so late in the game, but better late than never, right? And in honor of Camp NaNoWriMo, I'm wearing my 2019 NaNoWriMo winter shirt. After I talk a bit about my characters and my story, I'm going to be talking to you a bit about how I created those characters and how I create a story and things like that. So yeah, let's get into it. If the Broom Fits, my young adult Halloween romance. What an idea. The idea came to me in September of 2019. And I thought, oh my gosh, you know how fun it would be to create a Halloween story romance? But I didn't want to wait until NaNoWriMo to start writing it because then Halloween's gone and it's kind of redundant at that point. That's not the word I wanted to use, but we're just going to keep it in. It's fine. So I started working on it October 1st, finished it, I want to say October 17th. And yeah, so it was a novella. It was about 40-ish thousand words. I'm starting to bulk it up in the editing process. We love doing that. But I have let me open up a blurb for it. Let's see what we got to work with here. It's an old blurb. It's not the updated current version, but it kind of just gives you a gist of what is going on in the story. Blair has a bad attitude. At least that's what everyone tells her. It could be because it's days before Halloween, literally the worst holiday on the entire planet. And it doesn't help that her ex-boyfriend Lucas is determined to convince her otherwise. But Blair never told him the truth about why she broke up with him, or the truth about why she hates Halloween, which makes being around him painful. Especially when she sees him start to move on. Oh, that was an incomplete sentence. And when she gets a letter in the mail from someone who broke her heart, can she overcome the negativity threatening to drown her, or will her bitterness push everyone she loves away? Love it. Yes, so that is the working blurb. It's a lot clunkier than the one I have now. I just can't find where I wrote it down at. So, our main character, Blair, I named her after the Blair Witch movies because that's kind of a scary movie, and I thought, how fitting would it be to name the main character after a scary movie during the month of Halloween? Anyway, we have Blair as a main character, Lucas as her love interest, and then her best friend / cousin, Donnie. And those are our three kind of main babes. So Blair hates Halloween because that's when her dad left. Oh, that's not a spoiler. Is that a spoiler? We're just not going to put that in there just in case. In the book, Blair is dealing with a lot of emotions that comes with abandonment and losing people that you love. She struggles with Halloween in that month in total because of what happened to her that month, what happened to her family that month. Donnie and Lucas are trying to convince her that Halloween is the best month ever by taking her on 4 festive outings. It's been really fun to write. Blair lives with her grandmother, so that's been a fun dynamic to explore. That was kind of fun to test out how treating a grandparent like a parent would kind of come across. Crafting these characters took a whole lot of work. In a different video, I talked about how Blair was most similar to me. She kind of is a little bit snarky and bratty, and that's kind of how I am sometimes. I can totally be snarky and bratty. So she wasn't too hard to kind of figure out her headspace of. Lucas and Donnie were kind of difficult. I mean, I always can get the love interest pretty good, but side characters are kind of more difficult. Here. What I use to actually craft my characters are these lovely books right here. Now, before I go into a bit more depth about these books, I wanted to talk to you about how I visualize my characters and how I come up with their names. And to do that, we have to jump over onto Google. Okay, so not Google because I forgot Google doesn't do screen capture, so we're on my phone. We're going to open the Pinterest app and wait for it to load. And usually I go to Pinterest where I'm looking for baby names. So what I do is I type baby names in the top and I look at all the names that pop up. This is a lot easier than typing baby names for boys into Google and then clicking on separate websites because the list Pinterest gives you is so amazingly long and you get so many options. Like this boy list, handsome boy names. Look at all those names on that list. These are really where I find all of my names. Honestly, the possibilities are endless with Pinterest, so I definitely think you should check it out. Next, I'm going to be moving on to visualizing my characters. So usually what I do is I type in the attributes that I'm looking for. So in this case, let's type in boys with brown hair. And it gives us so many options for boys. This character, this boy, actually reminded me of Donnie, which is kind of funny that he popped up almost first. And sometimes I'll pin it to a board if I feel like it. But I just scroll through these and find boys that kind of look like the characters I have in mind. And then I'll type in girls. In this case, we're looking at girls with long hair. And really, I just kind of see which characters fit, which people fit, I should say. And I'll find photos like these that kind of look like senior photos, and those really help me like visualize facial features and stuff. But candids are what really get me. I think you can see a lot of a character in a candid instead of a model actually posing, like this one. It's obviously a pose, but to me you can tell by the way she dresses and the way she holds herself. I just really dig it. I think it's fun to just see what people could look like. To give you a better idea before we hop back into the video, I wanted to go onto my Pinterest and show you the board for Out of My League. So here you'll see a bunch of candids and not professionally taken photos, because these really just help me visualize who my characters are, what do they do, how do they act, how do they dress, and it's so beyond helpful and exciting to look at. Now that we've talked about that, let's get back into today's video. These lovely books come in handy so freaking often. They are amazing. You definitely need to check them out. They have more of them, but these were the ones I thought I would find the most useful. We have the emotion thesaurus. So I will open it up to a random page, and the emotion is insecurity. On that page, it gives you a definition, physical signals of insecurity, such as smoothing down clothing, a self-deprecating laugh, breaking eye contact, and shrugging. So it gives you a whole list of physical signs that are related to insecurity. It has internal sensations, mental responses, cues of acute or long-term insecurity. This is a great book if you're trying to figure out what somebody might be feeling and what they're feeling, how to make it come across in physical signals and emotional responses. So this book super duper helped me with show versus tell, because I would say she feels insecure. Or I could say she smoothed down her clothing with a deprecating laugh, breaking eye contact with a shrug. Like, dang. I mean, it's just so good. If you're gonna get any book out of all these, I would definitely recommend this one. Next, we have the emotional wound thesaurus. This one comes in handy when I don't really have a plot. I think this is actually how I came to figure out what Blair's emotional wound was going to be, because I had Blair, Lucas, and Donnie, but I had no idea what was wrong with them, you know? So I think that's how I found out what Blair's problem was. And I'm going to open to a random page. The page I opened up to was having parents who favored one child over another, which could totally be a theme kind of in itself. I could totally see a book written with characters having this problem. This book gives you an examples. Basic needs often compromised by this wound, such as love and belonging, esteem and recognition, self-actualization, false beliefs that could be embraced. The character may fear possible responses as a result, personality traits that may come from that wound, triggers that might aggravate this wound, and opportunities to overcome this wound. So if you really kind of just want a book that has a bunch of wounds that your character could like get caught up in, this is definitely the book for that. Love it. Next one is the positive trait thesaurus, and this is kind of when I don't know how to create a character. And this actually comes super in handy when I don't really know how a character responds to things. So if I know that a character is kind, I will find, let's see, kind. So if I know a character is kind, I'll open up to the kind page and I'll look at the definition, similar attributes, and possible causes of them being kind. If they grew up in a loving home, they're probably kind. If they share a strong sense of kinship with others, they're probably kind. And it also comes with a section of associated behaviors. So going out of one's way to help someone in need, being generous with one's money, time, and resources, listening intently to show others interest in what they're saying. That really helps me get a grip of what this character does, how he acts, how he listens to what people are saying because he cares and he's kind. Associated emotions, positive aspects, negative aspects. It also gives you an example from literature So that's really interesting. Traits in supporting characters that may cause conflict. So traits in a character other than him that may conflict with his kind trait. So if a character that he's friends with is dishonest, that would really trigger him. If they're self-centered, that would really trigger him. And then it also gives an idea of challenging scenarios for the kind character. So it gives a few bullet points of how this character can be challenged with this trait, which is really good for boosting up the conflict. I love this book. I think it's one of the best books out there in terms of character crafting, because I may know that my character's kind, but do I know he's focused, funny, loyal, philosophical? Okay. I'm not philosophical. Okay. I know that I am not, where'd it go? I'm not philosophical. So if I had a character who is philosophical, I would definitely need this page to be able to understand what's going on in their headspace and what kind of things challenge them. So this comes in such handy for writing characters who aren't really like me. And the last book that I've got in the thesaurus little category is the negative trait thesaurus, which is like the positive trait, but with negative traits. This negative trait that I open up to is pushy. Overly assertive and in your face. It does say possible causes, associated behaviors, associated thoughts, associated emotions, positive aspects, negative aspects. Example from film. Overcoming this trait as a major flaw. And it kind of gives an idea of what would trigger them to try and overcome this trait. And I think this is good too because it really helps you not to make perfect characters. And it really would just kind of help me make a more well-rounded character. The other books in this series by Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi, I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. So they also have urban setting thesaurus and a rural setting thesaurus. I haven't purchased those two. I live in a rural setting, so I know kind of how that one works. And those are usually the only kinds of books I write. But if I ever wanted to write a urban setting, I might look into that, buying that book. But yes, that is how I craft characters. I look at these books and I write down the traits and the wounds, and it kind of just builds stuff from there. If you take all of these books and take one aspect from each, you have a character. We have a character who is efficient, with a wound of cracking under pressure. He also struggles with being fussy, most often feels disgusting. You can work that into a character for sure. I think I'm gonna actually do a video on doing that with you guys, crafting a character with you guys. I feel like that'd be really, really fun. Maybe I'll put a poll out on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, keep an eye out for that poll, because I think we can have a blast with crafting a character, maybe a few characters, and maybe crafting a story to go along with it. We'll see. Hopefully this video wasn't too rambly. I know I started off talking about my book and then transitioning into talking about how I look at my characters and all that stuff. I feel like it's really hard for me sometimes to talk about my process just because my process is so crazy. I feel like most of the time I'm just winging it. But yeah, if you guys liked today's video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see a video of where we craft characters together and make a little short story, let me know in the comments below, because I think that would be really, really fun. I think it'd be fun to see what we all come up with. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in a few days with another video. Bye. Whew, I'm out of breath. What does this button do? Is anything even happening? Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Oh, that's way too fast. What was it set up before? What was it? Oh, fridge. Oh, I shouldn't have messed with that. And a rural? Breathe, Sarah, you're going too fast. Rural? Fudge nugs. I'm past K. F is before K, Sarah. Oh my gosh, why can I not say this word? Also, check out my phone case. Oh, fudge. I mean, I know the word. Rural. Which is what is this what we're talking about today? Thank God.